So I know it looks like no time has passed since this morning because I'm in the same onesies to make sure my titties ain't out. And we left off on talking about my gender, and I still don't have the words to convey what that looks like. I only have feelings, thoughts, and emotions. Feelings and emotions are the same thing. We'll leave it as is. To completely explain that is the feeling I have, like an out-of-body experience. It's more like gender dysphoria. But, you know, I was raised as a woman, born as female, and so that community, girlhood, black girl, womanhood is something I'm most familiar with and something I'm most identify with because that's most of my lived experiences. So I'm really attached to the community, but I know that I'm not fully a woman, but I'm not fully a man either. It's really confusing. I know it sounds confusing or whatever, but I identify as part of the woman communities because I was raised there, but I don't really feel that I'm a woman. Does that make sense? My computer is dying. Did I say that? Yes. I didn't. But, I don't have a favorite color. I don't have a favorite texture. Well, I do. I like soft. Velvety soft. I'm also deliriously tired. I apologize in advance, unless you find it amusing. Whatever. But, yes. So high school was a turning point for me. I'm from Oakland. If many of you don't know, I know many of you do know. And I went to Oakland High. And from what I observed in the LGBT, queer, same-gender loving, lesbian community on campus, there wasn't many visible gay black men that I knew. But there was a lot of visible gay black girls. Very large community. Still a lot of homophobia. This is back in early 2000s. So I'm going to say it's from 2004 to 2008. There are 3 identities, and there are 3 sexualities. So you're either straight, a lesbian, or bi, and you're either a stud, a femme, or a stem. Those are the only things you have to choose from. And there wasn't a lot of conversation about anything else that you could choose from. So my agony in high school was choosing 2 of those 6 things. I wanted to go to college sure of myself because I didn't really have a gay community in Oakland. I had my best friend, Christina, and she had a good firm circle, and we'll talk about colorism later. But actually, that's not even a factor. But so I lived vicariously through her, really. I was a good girl, I went to the library when I said I was going, and I stayed there all day. That was my hangout spot. Or I was up with my grandparents. I had a lot of fun. Or I was volunteering somewhere, or I was working, or I was babysitting, or I was at one of my 2 pre-college programs, whatever the fuck it was. I was somewhere else. So I told myself I was going to be firm in my identities, and then I was going to go to college and have my own queer community, and I wasn't going to have any straight friends. And I did exactly that. So by the time I graduated high school, because this whole process really began junior year, so 2006, 2007, I decided I was a lesbian and that I was a STEM. More like, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Get to college, really still don't know any boundaries. I apologize to everybody. I didn't know boundaries. I just really wanted to be close. And I really didn't know how to act. All I knew is from what I was raised in the environment for dating culture between men and women, and also studs and femmes. Pretty aggressive and, what's the word I'm looking for? Invasive. But I got to college and I learned about all these new identities, and I was like, fuck. I thought I was done with this. I really thought I was done, but I wasn't. And so, I was introduced to queer, polyamorous, pansexual, gender fluid, gender fuck, you know, everything I learned in LGBS 101 from Professor Masters. It was a great professor. I was really sad when he left UCR, and the LGBT 101 for the LGBT minor changed forever, but we won't go into that. And I was like, fuck, what am I? And I don't understand why I was so hooked up on understanding where I was from and who am I. Though, if I think about it right now, being Black and African American in this country where all you know is your beginning is in slavery, has always stood in the back of my mind about who am I in this country that loves to steal from me but really hates me down to the core. You know, so like, who am I? Where am I actually from? You know, sometimes I feel like I was an alien from a planet the way they treat us in this country. You know, I'm still reconciling that I'm an American, but we won't get into that today. Not today, Lord, not today. But yeah, so, you know, 2008, the fall of 2008, I moved in September 21st, 2008, and it so began my journey into understanding gender, not only on a larger scale from micro to macro, but my own and what that means from micro to macro in my own communities and my family, and what that means in pulling out examples from my childhood and my teenagehood years of Black girlhood and where they fit along in this discovery. Let me tell you, college was very fun, but it also was a lot of identity crisis that I was not prepared for, And so, you know, I learned, at the end of it, I learned you always go through identity crisis. It ain't ever gonna end. But yeah, that's what we're gonna leave off for tonight. Good night.